Brave Fencer Musashi, a game more than a few gamers hold dear to their hearts. In this unique journey of a young man taking on many enemies wait, no, not that one. Yeah, that one. It's nothing like those other games. In a world where you must explore the elements in order to... No, not that game. It's nothing like that game either. In this game, you have to collect power-ups and new skills to... No! Like this. Okay? But you see, in this game, you have a major goal, unlike any other game. You have to fight to the end, to fight a mega strong boss, to save the princess. God! Okay, whatever! I'm Young Haseo1, my name is Lee, and welcome back to Fight Style, the channel where I look at video game characters and find out what fighting style they use and what ability that they have that we can use in our world. Aside from the history of what my channel is, the reason I'm wearing my blue uniform is because it's kind of hot, which also explains why my hair is short. So in today's episode, we're going to get into a brave fighter called Brave Fencer Musashi. So let's see if we can make sense of what fighting style this PlayStation warrior uses in his adventure. Alright, let's dive right into this game, head first. In the title of this game, it kind of already tells us what the fighting style might be based on. Brave Fencer Musashi. Look, if the name alone doesn't get you, you might not be too familiar with the samurai legend Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto was an expert Japanese swordsman and ronin. He was more than just an excellent swordsman. He was also known to be the founder of a style called the Nenten Ryu, or the Nenten Ichi style, a style using two swords. To make this a little easier to understand, I'm going to call the samurai legend Miyamoto and the PlayStation warrior Musashi. Alright? Alright. In Brave Fencer Musashi, Musashi uses two swords as well. Connection would be the two sword style, the Nenten Ichi, means two swords are one. These two swords contain a katana and a wakizashi, a sword. Musashi, wait. He does have a katana, yes, but the other sword is huge. Okay, just one isn't a connection. That's okay. Miyamoto was an expert at throwing weapons, and some believed that his throwing techniques with his short sword was a secret to his style of fighting. Aside from being experts at throwing weapons and his swords, Miyamoto also wrote a book. His last book was called The Book of Five Rings. It was a book based on philosophy, tactics, and strategy. Also, I did find out that those 5 rings did base themselves on 5 elements, based on the rings. Earth, wind, fire, water, and void. The 5 elements are based like this. Earth represents hard, solid objects of the earth, like a stone for instance. Stones are resistant to movement or change. So for us to take that idea, we must keep stability in our lives, not letting anything break our foundation that we build for ourselves. Water, fluid, flowing, formless. Calm minds never overstress. Formless water, formless mental tendencies toward adaptation and change. Fire, simply put, motivation, desire, intention, and an outgoing spirit. Wind, things that grow, expand, and enjoy freedom of movement. As we grow in the world, we must remember that in all our experiences we go through in life, we must try to keep an open mind. Void represents heaven or sky. It's basically those things beyond our everyday experiences, mainly things that are composed of pure energy, things like ki, chi, spirit energy. A warrior properly connected to the void would be able to sense or act on their surroundings without thinking or using their physical senses. Musashi, do you compare to him in any of these ways? Well, Musashi does throw his katana, but that's for a different reason.
And he has no short sword to throw, so no. But in the game, you go after 5 scrolls. The 5 scrolls are also based off the elements. It's earth, wind, fire, water, and sky. And sky, not void. Well, like I said, void can also be represented as sky in the Book of 5 Rings, matching to this game the lore of the scrolls. But this doesn't help with Musashi himself.
Musashi, why can't you match up perfectly to the samurai legend you're named after?
But Miyamoto Musashi was a great artist!
Okay, he's in a pure connection to Miyamoto. Let's move on.
Okay. In the name of his game, it says fencer. Let's work on this fighting style. Fencing is a style of fighting that is now more popular as a sport. It's seen as a sport, it's viewed as a sporting event, mainly due to the fact of its achieving points by striking, like kendo or taekwondo or boxing. They use foils and sabers. I myself would love to learn how to fence. If I ever had the ability or the chance to do it, I would take that and just really go into it, just like my martial art. I fancy the foils because they bend. It looks really cool.
So, this style of fighting, does it match to Musashi? It really doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't really.
Based on the fighting stance of a fencer and how Musashi represents himself in battle, doesn't really fit at the least. So why is he even called a fencer?
I have no idea why he's called that. Either translation error or maybe someone's trying to be fancy. I have no idea.
So we've broken down the name of the game and still came up short to what his fighting style could be. But while I was going over and researching all the ideas, I really did stumble upon what his fighting style might be because I wrote down so many different possibilities.
You see all this? This is me trying to figure out what fighting style Musashi could possibly have. Literally, all the ideas I could have possibly have come up with. And there's only one thing I actually came to the conclusion, because I've had all these different fighting styles compared to him. Only one answers to me to be his fighting style. Brave Fencing Musashi is mixed martial arts.
Like I said, I compared him to many fighting styles, and not one of them fit him perfectly. Now, it could seem like I'm just trying to get the easy way out and just say he knows all of them. But just hear me out for a minute, and you'll see what I'm getting at. Mixed martial arts, or MMA, is either loved or hated upon. The people who love it say it's necessary to learn different type of martial arts. And the people that hate it say that if you don't stick with one, you're not going to understand the traditional aspect of martial arts. Both are right in a way. You see, mixed martial arts was made to take the most powerful aspects of martial arts in order to create the most powerful martial art. MMA itself is mainly made up of boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, wrestling, karate, and Taekwondo. Now the reason for the styles is if you're fighting someone and they come at you, you want to have a way to defend yourself. This is where Taekwondo, karate, and boxing comes in. But if they get close to you, into your range, very close, now you have to do close combat. This is where Muay Thai and Judo fits in. But if they get you to the ground by tackling you and trying to mollywop your face, this is when you can implement your Jiu-Jitsu. Now, I'm a Taekwondo practitioner. When I practice, I take my training seriously and the traditions it holds to heart, so that I can get a full experience of what my grandmaster is trying to tell me, so I can teach it and carry on what has been taught to me to my daughter and students to make their inside of their life a little brighter. Now, there are 2 types of MMA fighters. The first I have no patience for, neither do I wish to know them. It's the cocky fighters, the one who learn the basics in order to never lose, lifting all kinds of weights in order to become the strongest and overpower anyone that they come across. Second is the true MMA fighters, the one who learn every martial art and takes their time to understand everything the martial art has to teach. Not only do they get stronger physically, but they do it mentally as well, training their minds and working on techniques that can benefit more than just overwhelming power. Those kind of fighters, the true MMA fighters, are what makes me proud to be a martial artist, because we need more people like that. Now back to Musashi. Musashi is a mixed martial artist, and I can justify that idea. 1. An MMA fighter learns a fighting style that will help them in any situation that they would come across so they don't get knocked out. Musashi has a way to do this and continue his journey to save the princess. Remember when I said Musashi does throw his katana? Well, this helps with my theory. His katana is a glowing blue sword called Fusion. When he throws it, it turns green and is no longer used to cut his enemies, but it does penetrate them. When it does, the sword will take the enemy's most prominent ability and assimilate it to Musashi. Example, oh no, Musashi can't get across the river because he's a typical video game character who can't swim. That gets on my nerves. But beside him, over there, is a guy using a gun. When Musashi uses his fusion sword and assimilates its ability, now he's able to use gunshot. So what does he do with that? No, he aims his ability at the logs to knock it over, and now he can get across. Yeah! He can do this through the entire game, but he can only have one ability at a time that he has assimilated. You know, him having the ability to only learn one at a time doesn't make him too MMA if you ask me. But it does get better. Check this out. Okay, listen close. Musashi has the sword Fusion. He also has the sword called Lumina. That's the giant red sword on his back. That sword he has to use through the entire game in order to get all the elements and save the princess. Now, he has learned how to hold that sword from somewhere, and that's where his MMA comes in. A different fighting style in order to get him through his journey. Now, the connection comes through this. Brave Fencer Musashi is a game made by Square, and in turn, it got me to the idea that Musashi learned how to hold Lumina from Cloud Strife. Also, on an added note, while he rescues more people, they teach him how to do different fighting styles that help him throughout his adventure. Yeah, crazy, right? When you save someone and you go back to the village and go visit them, they'll teach him their way of fighting. He'll watch it, learn it, and he can use it through the entire game. He's using different styles from other people in order to get him farther. This is why I think Musashi is a mixed martial artist. Musashi, please allow me to change your name of your game to either Brave Double MA Musashi, you know, double MA, because double, or Brave MMA Musashi, or Brave Mixed Musashi. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You can think of names too. If you can think of a name that could be better than Brave Fencer Musashi, that'd be a lot better for us guys. Alright guys, so I'll leave you with Musashi being the mixed martial arts hero of the PlayStation world by Square. As for what ability I would want from Musashi, that's an easy one. It's really easy for me to pick. Assimilate, to have an ability from my enemies. To be honest guys, the reason it's so easy for me to pick what ability I want, and I want Assimilate, is because since I was a kid playing this game, I've always imagined having the ability to do that. And now I'm gonna tell others what my idea of having Assimilate was. So I want to adventure the world. I just want to go around places. And I was always afraid to do that as a kid because being scared about my parents was the idea. But if I could assimilate abilities, I'd be able to survive. So my idea on that is, I'd assimilate animal abilities. Like, wherever, what region I'm in, because we know that the sword doesn't penetrate through anything as damage. It just penetrates to take the assimilated abilities. So, that's what I want. I want to be able to assimilate animal abilities to survive in their habitat. Alright guys, that's it for Fight Style. Tubayo! See you later everyone.
What do I have to do? I don't do anything today.